Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome. So we're here today with Zuko rap, Stand and Burn, The Legend of Avatar. Well, The Legend of Avatar. Featuring Rustage and NerdOut. This is my first Avatar song. This is my first Avatar song reaction on this channel. Obviously, Zuko is someone that we're all very much familiar with. Perhaps. Well, I was going to say the best character, but then there is a good argument to be made whether the best character in Avatar was Zuko, whether it was Uncle Iroh, or whether it was Sokka. Obviously, those three being the fan favorites, the one that everyone loves. For me, it was always Zuko. His character arc, his journey was always brilliant. It was well handled. It was done in a manner in which I could, even when I was younger, when I was significantly younger, I could appreciate. And yeah, I just very much like Zuko. So now we've got a Zuko rap, which I'm all here for. It's another one by Rustage featuring NerdOut. Not sure if I've heard anything from NerdOut. But Rustage, obviously, we've listened to plenty of his songs. We've listened to plenty of his videos. So, yeah, I mean, as I always say as well, though, go check out the original one, which I'll have linked in the description down below. Go check out the video, give it a thumbs up, and then come back on my channel afterwards. You know, watch the original one first before you watch the reaction. Besides that, though, ladies and gentlemen, I would say let us get right into it, and let's get started. Let's hop right in. The Zuko rap. I'm actually quite interested. I'm very, usually when I start these videos, I'm always very interested because that's the reason why I click on these videos. You know, there are a lot of recommendations that you lot give, but like there are certain things that I just see and I'm like, ooh, I want to get to. I'm just like, ooh, rubbing my hands. I wanna listen to. I wanna watch, and this is one of those that I'm like, ooh. Nice. Nice. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen. Let us hop right in. Different kind of beat. Interesting. I can't numb the pain, but the feelings this actually sounds like an actual song. Like a professional studio quality singer song. That's what it sounds like. Damn. NerdOut, I'm assuming, is singing that. Nice. It sounds like an actual pop song. That's what I mean.
I've been scarred and bruised, it's hard to choose. And though I've struggled gaining, I'm too far to lose my chance to prove my worth and then start anew. I answer to myself, never after you. Okay.
So, yeah. Already, a few seconds in, I like the whole package. So the beat in the background, the dun 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 dun. Yeah, sounds great. Rustage's voice really fits for it as well, so we're in for a treat here.
I've been scarred and bruised, it's hard to choose. And though I've struggled gaining, I'm too far to lose my chance to prove my worth and then start anew. I answer to myself, never after you. When you're indoctrinated, hatred is all you have known. Thrown on the teaching of those looking to strip you of hope.
True.
At the end of my rope, choking on heat, couldn't cope. Prince of my kingdom, so why did I feel so cold and alone? I must be one who atones. Forks in my past and my rose, mind about to burst and explode, dragging me back to the throne. Look at the pain I've been shown. I'll make the choice of my own. Gaze at the sins of my people, I feel it down to the bone.
Yeah, he kind of just went non-stop. He kind of just like, all right, non-stop. Oh, Prince of my kingdom, so why do I feel so cold and alone? My goodness. I must be the one who atones forks my past in my roads, mind about to burst and explode, dragging me back to the throne. I feel it down to the bone. Well, actually, it says left eye, but left eye. Yeah, no, that's a bad one.
The bone, I feel it down to my blood, I feel it down to my heart. Taking a breath in the darkness, I see the light in the dark. I see the vision of greatness, I see the man from my past. I see the choices I'm making, I see the hurt and the scars.
Damn. We got the whole Zuko journey, bro. The whole Zuko journey. I'm not even gonna try. I did some capoeira when I was younger, but I'm not. I'm not young anymore.
When you're blinded by objectives, you can't stop to think. I've been pulled in all directions, now I'm on the brink. I learned my lesson and the fear I'm not forgetting, cause the writing's on the wall, but someone came along and smudged the ink. I'm not a prodigy, I'm just...
I love the message in this one. I really like the message in this one. I know it's kind of like just a telling of Zuko's journey, but Zuko's journey by itself is a very good message, and thus, you know, I really think it really works quite well. Just retelling a story, I feel like it really works quite well in just a motivational song. You know, you don't even need to really change much. Yeah, some aspect, of course, like Prince of My Kingdom. Okay, that doesn't necessarily work in just a generic song. But when I say generic has this like connotation, a very negative connotation. But I just mean like in a generic, in like an overall sense of positive reinforcements, and you know, very much like a blank slate where it's not really specific to one character or one story or one aspect. It just works with everything, and that's kind of what this song feels like. Yes, it's obviously about Zuko's journey, but if I turn the screen off right now, for the most part, with like the exception of a few lines here and there, but for the most part, it could apply to everything, and that's kind of the beauty of it.
By objectives, you can't stop to think. I've been pulled in all directions, now I'm on the brink. I learned my lesson and the fear I'm not forgetting, cause the writing's on the wall, but someone came along and smudged the ink. I'm not a prodigy, I'm just a kid who knows his worth. Dragged down through the dirt, I'll make sure they get what they deserve. Iroh gave it meaning, so I'm channeling his thoughts and words. Fire from my mouth, I got a message and it's getting heard. I keep on getting burnt.
Fire. All right, yo. Fire from my mouth. And it's getting hurt. And it's getting hurt.
I keep on getting burnt. I'll never be deterred. Nations are a war. I'm not supporting those who gain from hurt. Can't see how hard I've worked. Won't leave my name besmirched. Licing through my hair. I'm changing now, so let them do their worst. I took the light in, but send it back. I stay fighting.
I like this one so much for so many different reasons. It's not a hype. This one is not a hype. This one is just awesome. Like, it's a weird way. This one is just straight up awesome. Just straight up awesome. I like that part as well. Recording multiple voices for that part, that's pretty cool.
I took the light in, but send it back. I stay fighting. No second chance, I'm igniting the embers that have been rising. I'm striving to be the person I'm carving out like a diamond. So I stand and burn away the past of me that won't be hiding.
Damn, okay. Okay. I kinda wanna rewatch it now. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna rewatch it now. Ah, the dance. And guess what? At the end, he stands tall. Very, very tall. It's the journey. Look, man. As I said, for me, Zuko was the best character in Avatar: The Legend of Aang. There is just so much goodness about him. There is just just a rich story. There are plenty of characters that start out as like this villain, but then you get to know more and you're like, wait, I can actually see their motivation. You know, there are obviously plenty of characters that also start out as a good person, or at least perceived to be a good person, until you really find out how evil they are. But I've always, as I said, I always gravitate more towards villain. Because I find them always more intriguing, like than the main characters. And with Zuko, it was just a case of this guy clearly has a chip on his shoulder. This guy clearly has a lot to live up to. You know, he clearly has. He's battling himself for the most part, and you could really tell that with him right away. But because he was also the antagonist to the protagonist, you were like, at least I was like rooting for him. So like this rap was very good. This song was very, very, very good. I have to be honest with you. I like the message. The message was great. I feel now. I'm not the best person to speak on this. I'll be completely honest. I'm not the best person to speak on it, but like from what I've heard from Rustage recently, when I say recently, I'm talking about out of like the last 6 videos that he's made. I think I would say like the last 4 out of the last 6 had a very much a positive message in it, and again, I'm not the expert on Rustage because I haven't listened to all of his songs. I'm not even close to that. He's got like, I think, I would say like a good, 200 videos, and I've listened to maybe like 20 of them, with the majority of being like his more recent works. But like, obviously I've listened to some of the older ones, and I feel like in the older ones, there wasn't necessarily like the strong message. It was like, very much a good rap, a good song, so on and so forth, but not necessarily that strong in the message it was trying to tell. But like, I felt personally that like recently he has very much changed. There are differences. I need to prefacing after I've already said a ton, but like, of course he does plenty of ciphers too, and in the ciphers you don't really have time to do that. But I do feel like from what I've like just heard from Rustage himself rapping, obviously in this case it was featuring NerdOut, but from what I've heard from Rustage himself rapping, I feel like it's predominantly a positive message, and I'm quite here for that. I like positive messages a ton, right? I like kids. I used to be like that kid that used to come into school, back when I was like 14 or so. I used to come into school every day with like a new internet quote or like a new motivational quote that I got from the internet. Like, yesterday was history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it present. I used to be the kid that used to go into school every day and like, just motivate everyone up, because I'm, as you can tell, I'm a jolly old fella, right? I'm jolly. I'm generally always happy, and I like people to be happy, so I try to like motivate everyone and get them riled up. People hate that, to be completely honest, because if it's in a Monday morning and everyone's like, bro, I can't be bothered to be here, I'm the person that's like, all right, rise and shine, let's have some goodness and have some fun. That was basically me, all right? So I quite like these great messages. I like these positive messages. I like these messages that are that appeal to all ages, that appeal to everyone. And again, Avatar, I watched that when I was significantly younger, but it is a journey. The whole, it's not, what do you call it, an anime? I mean, it's mostly like a mix. I always thought it was like a mix between like animation, anime, which is traditionally Japanese, that's kind of just the name for it, and obviously then traditional animation, such as like Western animation. And I always thought like Avatar was just a good mix between the two, in the same way that something like the Boondocks is a good mix between the two. But for me, it was always a case of, I view it as a cartoon, I'll be completely honest, but we're not. I don't really care what people consider it. But the point is that it's something that I feel like everyone can watch, and that doesn't apply to all animes. It doesn't apply to all anime styles. Obviously animes are a lot more universal, especially nowadays, than they were like 10-15 years ago. 10-15 years ago it was basically like, and you watch anime in the West. I'm talking predominantly in the West because that's obviously the only thing that I can speak for. But like 10-15 years ago, you would basically watch certain animes in a certain age, and then after that you kind of just fall out of it. Nowadays, because anime has become so mainstream, everyone watches it. Because cartoons have become so mainstream, cartoons are much more watchable. I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that like we had a lot more adult cartoons, and a lot of us obviously grew up watching anime too. So I feel like that really has played out in a good way. And the Avatar: The Legend of Aang is something that, even in like 10 years time, I think I can recommend to people. Even in like 20 years time, I think I can recommend to people, because it has such a great message. It is such great characters, such vibrant characters, that I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are, it's suitable for all ages, it's suitable for every single person out there, and ultimately it's suitable and entertaining for everyone. That's the way I view it, ladies and gentlemen. This song itself was great, as I mentioned, with a very great message too. Very much looking forward to seeing what is in store for next. I'm assuming next is going to be a cipher. That's just my assumption, like a cipher and then something just by himself, and then a cipher and then something by himself. I don't know if that's the pattern, but I do like these. Even like the ciphers are always cool. Getting to see so many different people with so many different styles, so on and so forth. But like this one and the Usopp one, I really felt like it was a good message. And I like good messages, so I very much like these solo ones as well. So besides that though, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have to say. Let me know what you all think about this one. I will be seeing all of you in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day, peace out, and as always,